There we go. Alright, let's see if I'm on. Just bear with me for a second. Let me get onto here. Really? It's got a commercial? Slide that over there. Alright, how's everyone doing tonight? Now, unfortunately, I had advertised the crap out of going on his channel for a live stream. I'm going to talk louder because last time I had audio issues, but there was some miscommunication because everybody knows how well I communicate. So, oh, I forgot to check to make sure I'm in frame. 1 second. Alright, awesome, I'm in frame. So, we'll be doing a live stream on here because I did promise you a live stream, and I'm not going to not deliver. I mean, that's important. If you're going to say you're going to do something, you do it. So, here it is. It's totally not his fault, so do not get mad at him at all. It was my fault. I went back and I read the messages, and I totally failed to communicate that we were going to do it on his channel. Because my laptop just doesn't have a powerful enough camera, and when I try to do audio off my laptop, because I did a test video that I had posted earlier saying that I was going to go over there, you can hear the computer fan running and everything, and it was just horrible. Dude, when do you ever sleep? I sleep usually from like midnight to 3 in the morning. Love life here in the Florida Keys. What's the weather like in the Florida Keys? Go past that folks button. Hello, Wisconsin. What's up, Peter K? What's everyone up to? Can't hear you. Are people having problems with the audio? Is it that bad? Because I could always try to plug in one of those remote headsets. Yeah, this one's got a microphone on it, so I can plug it in if you guys can't hear me. We can hear you fine. It's just a quad. All good. What's up, my fellow driver? What's going on? Howdy from East Texas. Audio is fine. I wish I could pay you to read me bedtime stories. I gotta do audiobooks. Well, I shouldn't say that. I tried doing audiobooks for bedtime stories, and then I'd get wrapped in the story and I'd wind up staying up crazy late. Don't do audiobooks for bedtime stories. My favorite channel to fall asleep on is like a Universe channel or Vsauce or some sort of scientific channel where they don't have any real music. It's just nice monotone talking. I can hear you 5x5. Nice. It's echoes, like, but it's okay. No, sounds great. Anyway, why won't you be on the other channel? I intended to be on the other channel, but I failed on communication horribly. I went back and read the messages, and yeah, I didn't actually verify what we were planning on doing. And this is still my laptop, which is completely awful, and the camera, it's like 320 or 520p, and it's not even 16:9 format, it's a little square. And when I try to do the audio off the computer, all you can hear in the background is whee from the computer fan running. I can't do a live stream. And in order to host a live stream, unless one of you guys can help me out, you've got to do it off of a laptop. You can't do it off of a cell phone like I'm doing right now. Is your shop open tomorrow? Yeah, we open up at 9 tomorrow. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 5. $20K in guns, $500 computer. I can't help it. I actually intended on buying a computer, but then the whole house thing happened, and the money I should have used to spend on the computer, it went to all the ambush bills. Apparently there's a lot more bills into buying a house than I had originally thought. And one of the requirements was to buy a full year of house insurance. And that was literally my laptop money. So I went and bought a full year in house insurance. I did move in though. Everything's going okay. I still got to figure out the water bill. For the life of me, I cannot figure out who's charging me for water. I don't know if maybe it comes on my taxes or what's going on. The next major hurdle I'm having at my house is internet. Charter's not plumbed all the way down, and they want to charge me $5,000 to plumb it the rest of the way down. HughesNet has a serious data cap. I'd only be able to upload like 5, maybe 10 videos a month. And then their internet speed is only 25 meg. That's just good enough for me to bitch about how terrible it is. I've been calling the phone company for almost a week now, and I can't get them to call me back, which is really making me doubt their capabilities of providing service. But apparently, if they do already have a fiber optic phone line run down by my house, they offer 125 meg internet, which is decent. I'll be able to stream. I won't be able to upload videos. I mean, I could in a pinch, but even like a 5-minute video at that internet speed, which is pretty poor, would take me like 6 to 8 hours. Do you have another cell phone you can read texts on? Unfortunately, no, I don't. That's why I got the computer right here. I just open up a window browser to cover up myself, because if I hear or see myself on another computer, it totally screws me up and makes me lose my train of thoughts. And then I just read the comments right there. I know there's a way somehow I can make these comments bigger, but they're so small and my monitor sucks. I have to get right up close to be able to see them. Love you, dude. Got a family 10 vacation. Home is where... house is way more important. Agreed. If the laptop does crap out, I mean, a customer had brought in a very affordable CRS Firearms. Did you see the video YouTube content creators union version? Yeah, actually I did. I've never been a fan of unions, like the old unions. Those were good. They actually fought for the worker, but now they more fight for the company. I mean, no matter what, it's a double-edged sword. I would like to see a company rise up and put some sort of pressure on it so that they can't just... It's very frustrating figuring out what you're supposed to do, or even figuring out like how it works or what YouTube's looking for. For example, about the time my coat hanger machine gun video came out, I was getting about 10% subscriber views. What that means is every 10 views my subscribers give me, YouTube would give me another 90. Now I'm up to 30%. So every 30 views I get, I'm not going to pull out the calculator, but it's a lot less views I'm getting. I got to work like 3 times harder to get the same views off of YouTube. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they're throttling me. Not at all. My actual click rate, for some reason, either people are recognizing my channel and realizing they hate me, so they're just not clicking on my videos, or my thumbnails haven't been as good as normal. Because my click rate on my channel, what that means is like, let's say you're on your phone and all of a sudden, bing, you get a notification. CRS Firearms just did a video. Whether or not you click on it, it goes to a percentage. For a while there, I was at 10%. I'm all the way down to 6% now. That's not a YouTube thing. That's on my end. So that's a big reason why my channel's not doing as good. My thumbnails just aren't as enticing, or my content isn't as enticing to my viewers. But now what is YouTube is the 30% number. But that also could be due to the click rate, so... Press F11. F11. Oh, that was the wrong thing. Press it again. Maybe if I click on this one. F11. F11. F11, bitch. Alright, so it kind of went bigger, but it's not big enough, and now my thing isn't showing. I gotta pull that back up somehow. F11. I don't know, once I accidentally scaled my screen so it was really big, and it took me like 5 tutorials to figure out how to get it back down to the normal size, but if I could figure out how to make it bigger so I didn't have to lean forward to see my comments, that would be awesome. Here from West Virginia, what's up? What's going on, man? Put pics in Grabs your thumbnails if you want views. Pics of girls in your thumbnails. See, that's clickbait. Like if you put clicks in your thumb or girls in your thumbnails, and they do work to an extent. Because you only get a view if you can hang on to a viewer for the first 30 seconds. So let's say I put like this chick leaning over like this, holding up a 1911 or something with her tits, and I was going to call it the All-American Girl 1911 review. If somebody clicks on that video and they don't see that girl in there, they're going to click away. So it doesn't count as a view. You got to hold on to them for 30 seconds. Now, the difference is, because you got clickbait right here, and you got nobody wants to click on your thumbnail right here. You have to find the center. You want something enticing, almost clickbait. Something that draws a question in your mind like, what is he talking about, or what this video is about? Like if you actually put what the video is completely about, say for example I do a comparison video against these binoculars and CO2. If I put this is a comparison video or verse in there, the video performs very poorly because everybody knows what it's all about. Unless, of course, it's a comparison where they want to hear your answer on it. So you have to make your thumbnails and craft your titles to where you're not really necessarily telling what the video is about, but inspiring a question in someone's mind. The perfect title and the perfect thumbnail, when somebody sees it, a question will pop up in their head. That's ideal. So it's not clickbait, but it's not enticing, if that makes any sense. Everyone wants as a thumbnail, God bless all. Only criminals try to work out how you make a difference. Is it real clickbait? Trying to work out how to make decent clickbait isn't really clickbait. CO2 add a set knob and it's YouTube magic. You should make CO2 versus binocular video. I don't actually know how I would do a CO2 versus binocular video. What are these, Simmons? I thought Simmons were supposed to be good. These things kind of suck. They give you a fisheye view. If you see my older videos, you know how like the only thing that's really in focus is me, and then everything else is kind of like lensed. That's what these look like. I'm not impressed with them at all. They just kind of flop around. I've seen cheaper binoculars perform better than these Simmons. Like your image, like pretend this was the CO2 instead of, you know, a nice flat crisp line. It's got a huge bow in it. How are you loving your new house? I really love my new house. It's a dream I've had for a very long time because rent is so miserable. I mean, you're buying someone else's house. That's what you're doing. You're paying their mortgage. You're paying for their house. So then after you move out, you've just made all those payments for them. So every single time I'd pay rent, it'd be like, ugh. And not to mention my house is far cheaper than my rent was. So that's awesome. Yeah, I still got to pay for utilities and repairs, which will probably balance itself in the wash. But then I actually have something to show for all my hard-earned money. I mean, at my apartment, I was paying just short of $700. So 10 months, that's just short of $7,000. And I lived there for like 4 years. New house seems too broke. And shooting 2 shotguns from the hip. Seems broke that a Russian account shooting 2 shotguns from the hip to make a hit. He gets millions of views. Yeah, PSI Russia. His channel came out at the absolute perfect time. It was right in the perfect window with perfect content. At that point in time, YouTube was just starting to throttle gamers. Because originally YouTube was basically game sites. How they had figured out their algorithm drastically supported gaming videos. It basically came down to who had the longest video and who uploaded the most, and how clickbait the thumbnails were. And that's how they were ranking it. If people clicked on your thumbnails a lot, well, your video would get a lot of views. They didn't have the whole 30-second window you had to achieve to count it as a view. Well, he came out right in the Modern Warfare time, showing off Modern Warfare firearms. It really hit on the younger generation, and that's where views are. The younger generation watches videos differently than us. If they like a video, they'll watch it 5-6 times. I mean, look at children watching their favorite movie. If you can hook your videos onto a younger generation, your views will exponentially grow. It's kind of the reason why I don't curse in my videos, because I'm not necessarily looking for kids, but a younger crowd. Yeah, the content that is targeted for younger crowd, like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Lance Stewart, all that stuff, they curse a lot, but I wouldn't feel right if my videos were being watched by young, which my videos aren't. They're typically watched between, I think it's like 22 and 35. That's my biggest audience. But anyway, if the younger crowd was going to watch my videos and I knew they were going to watch my videos, I would just feel wrong cursing and giving a bad message. And I'd like a slightly younger crowd, but, you know, you guys are still young. I mean, you're all younger than me, so... Unless, of course, you're not in my maximum age bracket. So if that makes any sense. But yeah, the younger crowd, they watch videos differently. They don't just watch it once and get information. They'll watch a video multiple times. That's also why tutorial videos, unless it's like the pioneering tutorial video, doesn't get a lot of views. Or unless it's something you have to keep referencing. Because otherwise you get the information once and there's absolutely no reason to ever watch it again. There's absolutely no reason to ever subscribe to the channel because you've already got what you wanted. That's why I like to do videos that aren't necessarily tutorial videos, like the one I just put out about an hour ago. Those are the kind of videos that get you subscribers. Because they want to hear what you have to say more, if that makes any sense. Do you wear military surplus or civilian hunting camo? Military surplus. I haven't bow hunted in a while. Man, the comments are going fast. I haven't bow hunted in a long time. Life happened. And then when I was going to get into bow hunting again, you know, life happened again. I'm eventually going to get a crossbow, but yeah, that's all I wore was BDUs. Brain, our grandfather that said the same crap about us. Hid in... Folks laughing bad, I can watch your videos and nice, not worried about here picking up the language that we all get in trouble. Do you ever note with one note? What? Do you ever only note with one note? I don't understand, like, what do you mean, like, my side notes and just being a single note? Or, I don't get that one. Did you do the Tide Pod Challenge? I won the Tide Pod Challenge. Need to call and get your house. It will text how much you can pay. Pay the house note with the interest. I'm not really following the line of comments with the note. I think it's you're talking about the house note, but I don't understand the question. Prison kids with stuff worse than bad language on YouTube. Oh no, I totally agree, but still it just wouldn't feel right to me. Like if I could look at my analytics and I see most my audience was under the age of 18, which it won't be because I do gun content, so that's basically blocked from children. But if it was, I would drastically change the messages in my content and how I actually speak to the viewer. Got advice for a good entry lever bow? Got advice for a good entry level bow. Oh, I thought it said lever bow. Sorry, I can't read for crap when I get older. Thanks for the super chat, Jesus Rabbi, or what do we got your name changed to now? Rabbi Jesus. Honestly, all the super chats because my daughter's birthday is coming up and she wants the Power Wheels that I cannot afford at all. We'll be going to her birthday party. But as far as a good entry-level bow, I did shoot a PSE for a while. What really mattered with a bow is that it's fitted to you. The PSE had a 32-inch draw length. I'm 26 and a quarter. So when I draw it, it'd be like practically behind my ear to get it at full draw. So I'd have my head leaned back and stuff like that. Just having it sized and fitted to me drastically improved my accuracy, how long I can hold it drawn, everything. That's what's important. I'm a snob when it comes to gear most of the time. So I had winded up getting a Matthews bow. I didn't like the parallel limbs because, well, I watched Rambo when I was a kid and he didn't have parallel limbs. So I winded up getting the classic version. Not to mention the classic version lobbed the arrows at a very high feet per second. But anyway, so that's what I winded up getting. The biggest thing I had an issue with is with the multiple pin sight. I started off with a multiple pin sight and they're slow. They obstruct too much of your view. Trying to hit a moving target, for me at least, was real complicated. Plus there's all those gaps in between the pins where you gotta throw a wild ass guess for range. What I strongly recommend is a single pin with a slider. And then you put a sticker on here and you pre-figure out your ranges. So let's say, for example, you know a deer is going to be coming at that range or whatever, you just slide it to that range. It simplifies everything. You get quicker target acquisition much faster than a multi-pin setup. But again, you're marking in the ranges. So if you don't do a really good job, really precision, like count out all your ranges, so I believe an arrow falls like 1 inch or something like that every 10 yards. So it's very important to have your range proper. Or if you decide you want to blast a squirrel that's making a bunch of noise and it's really close, you just adjust your range. I strongly recommend a single pin if you're going to get a bow. Won't be the Texas or Mississippi model. Pay the extra money on your house loan. I actually can't pay off my house loan faster. Because it's through the Habitat of Humanity, and they're selling to it at a ridiculously cheap price with a low interest rate, they require you to have your note out for so long. If you pay it off faster, you have to pay more money because you have to pay the difference. Because otherwise, theoretically, I could jump into a Habitat house, throw it right back on the market, and make a huge profit. So that's what they're trying to prevent. I mean, I still could do that, but then I have to pay them to where I wouldn't be making anything, so why would you sell it? You probably know about it. I hope they give 6 months to doing some can save tens of thousands of dollars. He's not in Illinois. Yeah, I'm not in Illinois right now. I did live there for a while. I lived in Dwight, Illinois, and then I worked in Shanahall, which is basically Joliet. Oh man, the traffic was so horrible. I was right on the only brick. Thank you for the $10 super chat. That will definitely help my goal to getting her a Power Wheels. But anyways, back to the Illinois thing. So we had this bridge. It was the only bridge. I mean, you could go way up to like Morrison stuff and sidetrack around, but it took an extra 40 minutes. So all the traffic from Chicago, the suburbs of Chicago, would all try to cross this bridge. Now my job was literally right next to the bridge. So if I got out of work at a time, I could get across that bridge, not a problem. If I was 15 minutes too slow, it took me an extra hour to get home. Literally, the cars were parked on the interstate. It was the most horrible thing ever, and you just sat there. And you moved a couple inches a minute. It took you like over an hour to travel a mile. It was just ridiculous, but all the traffic would just funnel in and have to cross this bridge. Terrible. I strongly don't recommend ever going to, visiting or doing anything in Illinois. Just avoid that whole state if possible. Now, there was a perk though. The jobs paid amazing. And the people I personally worked around, there was exceptions, there always are, but they didn't do work. So when I came down there, I was doing the work of like 2 or 3 other employees. I was making bank. They just kept giving me raises because of how hard I worked and the cost of living, because you have to live far away from Chicago. Otherwise the cost of living is too high, and then the extra money don't mean anything. You're better off just paying the gas. But yeah, so the jobs pay really awesome, and you can climb through the ranks quickly. Power Wheels. Awesome. Holy marker. He should have posted this video. I like his... I like him, and I'm frustrated. He should have posted that video. I like him, and I'm frustrated. What video are you talking about? Do you reload? I haven't yet this summer. For the past 4 years, because of my living setup, I couldn't have my reloading equipment at the apartment, so I had it in a job trailer parked out at my dad's house, so I could only reload in that window right in the middle of summertime. So I had to pound out like everything I planned on shooting for the whole entire year, and that's back when you'd see a huge lag in my videos right at the beginning of the summer, because it didn't have, well, it had air conditioning, but it didn't work for crap, and the heating didn't work for crap, so I'd have to do all my bullet casting, all my reloading, everything in one spot. It drastically reduced the amount that I can shoot. Now right now I have a house and I already brought my reloading equipment there, but I don't know where to put it because my daughter likes to dig through things. I already checked on it because I got it in the garage hoping she wouldn't dig through it and dump out all my powders and stuff. She has rocks inside my powder thrower that I can't get my fingers in there and get out, so I'm probably going to have to take like a shop vac and suck them out or something. But yeah, so hopefully very soon I'll be back to reloading, and then my ability to shoot firearms is just going to skyrocket again. Which video, Boomer? I agree, Boomer. What about your opinion on 3D printed firearms? I wouldn't do 3D printed firearms. His last one on Evolution should have. I didn't watch it, but probably will. Piss me off too. Sometimes he just wants to make us mad. I wish all these guys would keep religion out of their videos. Yeah, but the reason we don't keep religion out of our videos is the 2 most popular search items on the internet is porn and religion. If you do a video on religion, it's almost guaranteed to do good. Remington 700 Action 308. Mike just asked your opinion on 3D printed guns. Yeah, on 3D printed guns, I'd just get a mill. I mean, even those little home station mills you can get for like less than $1,000, you could totally turn out receivers. And then you have something that will last. Or even like building AKs. They're actually, I shouldn't say simple to do. It's far easier to turn out an AR-15 lower and just buy the rest of the parts. I mean, you can even have them shipped to a P.O Box or something. Obviously, if you live in restrictive states, from what I understand, it's not fact, it's just what I've been told. In Illinois, you can't even have gun parts sent to your house anymore. You have to have them all sent to a gun shop. But even just a little home mill, I mean, you can even do it with a drill press, but it'll look like crap. You can get some 70-75, 80% lower, and just finish it up. I wouldn't do 3D printed. I mean, the cost of the printer, the materials, trial and error. For me, at least, it would just make more sense to just mill out a piece of aluminum. Thanks, Rabbi. You should do... Yeah, I am going to do reloading videos. I can't post those on YouTube, though. I don't know how far I can push it, but from what I understand, taking an empty piece of brass to a reloaded cartridge is not acceptable at all, and the policy in your channel will be removed. I think I can give, like, little tidbits, like what charge I'm using and how it performed in a certain rifle, or how to turn a 30-06 piece of brass into a 308. Even that I think it's pushing. because it specifically talks about manufacturing. But I will be posting those videos on my gun streamer channel. What do you think America will ban firearms altogether? Honestly, I kind of feel like we're just going to give them up willingly. Not this generation so much, but the following generation, they'll make it so it's so restrictive and such a pain in the ass to have them that people just won't care anymore. When they finally push through the ban, the percentage of people that will actually care about that, I feel, will be so incredibly small. It'll be like if they were to ban R12 and switch to R134, it's refrigerant. Nobody cared. Like, oh well, who cares? It costs more. This doesn't have anything to do with us. The actual people that deal with the air conditioning stuff are so few and so small, they just don't have a voice. What happened? But there is reloading videos on YouTube that said, oh, I can definitely upload videos on YouTube for reloading, but there's a very good chance my channel will get banned because they specifically said in their policies, manufacturing ammunition is against our terms of service and you will be banned. Now I could do a bunch of burner channels, but they might tag my IP address and just upload it on smaller channels, but then what's the point if nobody's going to see the video? And like a lot of your long-range shooting channels, say for example 8541 Tactical, Tyrannosaurus Rex, if you actually go to their playlist, because they never cleaned up their playlist, you can see how many videos got deleted. Some of their playlists are just completely empty. There's like deleted video, deleted video, deleted video, deleted video, deleted video. But they were very clear. Manufacturing ammunition is not okay on YouTube. That's why I even pulled how to make incendiary ammo off of my channel and just put it on Gunstreamer. Let's see what else we got here. The comments stopped. Am I still live streaming? Gunstreamer. Smart. Yeah, I know that sucks because that's why I learned how to reload ammunition was on YouTube. Yeah, I could read articles, but there's so much missing from just text. Like the little things you don't normally include. Like you watch a guy reload ammunition on YouTube, he's like, oh yeah, and don't forget, you know, this can happen if this does happen. Just the little side notes. Those are always missing out of articles. It's a safety thing to be able to watch reloading on a video over reading how to do it in a book or out of an article. I'm a gun owner, are 45% US, that sucks. More like 78% manufacturing ammunition. Fortune Cookie gives Fortune Cookie was actually one of the earlier channels I started watching. He does give some pretty good explanations on stuff. I commented on him a bunch back in years ago because I wanted to do slug casting, which my personal experience with making your own slugs for shotgun, don't waste your time. They're ridiculously inaccurate. I did the Lee slug with the keyway in it. Man, that thing shot like 8 MOA. So then I tried, well, hey, what if you take the key out of it and then it'll put more weight up front and hopefully, you know, it'll be more stable. Didn't make a difference. I think I only lowered the MOA by like 1. But he had the Lyman one. The slug kind of looks like a BB gun pellet. And I was asking him about the accuracy, and he was saying even that the accuracy is just poor. When I could buy slugs about $1 a cartridge, and they perform great. Model 60 or Ruger 1022. Ruger 1022 all the way. Just because of the construction of it and how it's built. The Model 60 is a great gun. It's accurate, but it just can't handle the abuse. You can't get in there and clean the finer parts. How the barrel's connected to the receiver, it's just a pin that pushes through. The Ruger 1022 uses 2 bolts. The Ruger 1022 takes detachable magazines. The Model 60, you have to put your hand in front of the muzzle to load it. I'm just, like, I get the Model 60 has a place, but without a doubt, I'm Ruger 1022 all the way. Not to mention the aftermarket world for the Ruger 1022 is vast. Can you still post your still more guns than people in the U.S. right now. Forget keys, word, explaining thoughts. Where are you getting that? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Boomer. My comments are going through fast, and I don't pause them so I can keep up with the conversation. Because even like when I join live streams, sometimes I'll leave a comment then hop out. So it's always best to take the newer comments, unless of course you run out of comments, then you can back up. Have you ever fired a street sweeper? No, street sweepers look cool as hell though, but functionality and how they actually work, you're better off with a tube-fed shotgun, because you got that whole drum that's got to be wound up, and then you have to manually eject the shells. I do think street sweepers are awesome, and I would totally own one if they weren't stupid expensive. But actual practicality, a street sweeper is just not practical. It was a vote to ban guns during the Reagan era. It was shot down. Have you ever fired a street sweeper? I got a Ruger American Farmer 1022. Nice. What is one of the coolest guns that you have ever came to the shop? I do like M1 Grands, and we've had some pretty cool ones come through. We even had an International Harvester. I know that's not like super rare or anything, and it's not super old, but the whole fact that it's an International Harvester on it, I thought was pretty cool. But without a doubt, by far, the coolest firearm, aside from a Colt SP1, which I would have probably bought off the person, but he wanted what I'd have to sell it for, and that's just not how that works. I can't buy the gun for the exact amount I'm going to sell it for, so I wasn't able to get that one. But it would be the Winchester Model 97 trench gun. Yes, it was a clone, but that's what made it affordable to me. Not to mention there was a nice park on it, and they're typically blued, so they can't handle the abuse, but because that one was parked, it handles the abuse a little bit more. But yeah, that is without a doubt my favorite firearm that's ever come through the shop. Now, we did have a Desert Eagle come through, which I would have bought, but it wasn't in 50 cal because it was an older one before 50 cal. Like, it was even made in Israel. But yeah, that one came through, and we got that at a cheap price. We actually sold it on the shelf to a customer for $600 because of how cheap we got it. But that was chambered in 44 mag or 357. I can't remember which one. Alright, can you do a comparison with CZ RAM? If I ever get one of those firearms in, I will most definitely make videos. 100% true black powder event. We hold our freedom in our hands. Very true. That's why it's important to... There's not a whole lot we can do. Yeah, we can vote. Yeah, we can protest stuff. But what really matters is the generations that come after us. That's why it's our responsibility to pass on firearms and the reasons why we should own firearms and the firearms hobbies, like shooting, stuff like that, onto the next generation. Our future is basically already set. There's very little you can actually do. But we can ensure the future for our children. That's why you got to get out there, encourage people to hunt, encourage people to shoot, give them little tidbits of information. Never, ever turn out someone onto Alex Jones that doesn't know anything about firearms. That's just way too much of an information dump. His name's been discredited so many times that, well, they're not going to believe anything he says. Just little tidbits, like talk about stuff like the financial reserve and how all of our dollars have a tax attack or an interest rate attached to it. So no matter what, eventually the dollar's going to crash. Like little stuff like that. Just little information that's super easy to verify. Alright, Boomer, the only one other nation I've ever fired from Illinois. Do you talk about Renix 66? The rest of them can enjoy them. You laugh, Rabbi, amen, amen. Hello there. Hope you are well. I'm great. Oh, I want to show you guys something that came into the store. Check this out. It's a 308 Magnum. When the guy was talking to me on the phone, I thought for sure he didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, are you talking about like a 300 Win Mag or something like that? It's called a 308 normal. I've never seen anything like this. We got a FN rifle in. I was actually going to pull it out, but my live stream timer was counting down too fast, and I couldn't get it out of the safe in time. But it shoots this bad boy. It's bigger than a 30-06. It's fatter than a 30-06. And it lobs a 180 grain projectile at over 3,000 feet per second at 100 yards. This is a wicked little cartridge. Now you pay for it though. I think the going rate is like $60 for 20 of them. So pretty pricey. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, 308 Mag? That's freaking awesome. I've never even heard of that before. But yeah, this is it. They do exist. It actually says 308 normal Magnum on the cartridge. FN FAL is the best. I'd like to get an FN FAL. I mean, compared to modern weapons, they're not that practical, but they still have a piece in history. It would definitely go on the wall next to the M1 Garand or an AK-47 or like a Mini 14 or something like that. Not practical, but cool as hell. Good spin on guns, $2,500. What's up with 338? 338 Lapua, that's a wicked cartridge. Very nice. Very pricey though. That's why I wouldn't get it, because I can't afford it. Oh, where are we? Do you carry a pocket dump? What are you? Do you carry a pocket dump? What's a pocket dump? What are you carrying? Right now I don't have anything on me. Because I just got off of work and I came straight here and I can't carry firearms on my job. One in the car though, 45. What we talking about? This is just random because I had promised to do a live stream on another channel and there was some miscommunication, so I couldn't go on the other channel and do a live stream. So unfortunately I just threw up a backup live stream on here. It's more of a hangout than any particular topic. He wants to see your EDC. What's your daily carry? What's your pockets? Do a pocket dump, knife, flashlight, pockets. Oh, okay. The only thing I got in my pockets right now is a set of keys. It's very uncomfortable to carry stuff in your pocket when you're truck driving. Oh, and some vape juice. The other gun tubers have life happen, so a solo stream, haha, pocket survival, keys are better than nothing, phone. No, I don't even carry my phone in my pocket. It just does not work. You gotta put it on the dash or something like that. As soon as I get in the truck, everything comes out of the pockets. Phone, wallet, anything. Vape, soda. I have spots for it all over my truck. And seriously, like, you wouldn't understand unless you drove for a long period of time, but anything in your pocket will just drive you insane. Nothing. Phone. To be outside of that ranch and load firearms. Allow. Agreed, Angel. Sorry, I'm late. We had a deep discussion on your other video here. Do you even shoot 5.56 62 green tip? Thought on it is 55. For me, yeah, I'd like to run 55 green just because that's typically what you'll find in the stores. That's what's most available. On my particular rifle, which is the Bushmaster, it's got a 1.9 twist barrel chrome line. It doesn't like 55 grain ammo. A bunch of people had said in the comments of my video, and I believe they're 100% correct. It's because my NATO chambering, because chamberings are all cut different depending on who's cutting it, who's working the machine. There's too much free bore, and that bullet's just short enough to where it doesn't consistently wedge into the rifling. 62 grain, I can cut my MOA in half. Now my girl's, which is a 1.9, her shoots 55 just fine, but it doesn't shoot 62. As far as penetration power, I mean, what are we really shooting with body armor? 55 grain performs just fine, and that's what I would run if I had that option. But yeah, I'm stuck with 62 grain or heavier. I like my PX4 to love the while. Too big to carry. I agree. M193 55 has some 55. Ooh. Kind of heavy. M93 55 would be better. Speed defeats body armor. And you're totally right. Speed does defeat body armor. It does more than just defeat body armor too. The 55 grain is such a... That's why varmint ammunition. You won't see boat tails with varmint ammunition. They'll be flat on the back. Because you're screwing with the balance. You want it so as soon as the centrifugal force starts getting reduced that the bullet starts tumbling. All bullets will tumble depending on how far you reduce them. With a 55 grain bullet, because they're typically shorter, I mean, I'm sure they'd probably make... Well, no, because you'd have to start increasing... Unless you had the whole 55 grain bullet made out of steel on the inside, it's going to be a shorter size. So the weight's going to be in a smaller spot. So it's going to tumble through your target quicker. And not only that, the faster you go through, the more hydro shock you're causing inside the target. Speed is always better than mass. Unless, of course, what's a good example? I should say always better, because there's never absolutes. There'll be a situation where it's different. But if I have to choose between speed and mass and get the same kinetic energy, without a doubt I'm picking speed. Dragon skin. I want a CZ52, but we should talk on your phone. Are you one of the guys? We should talk on the phone. Are you one of the guys? What are one of the guys? I might have missed something in the comments. I'm sorry that I'm not following the conversation well. My deals, blah, blah, blah. Can't handle hearing you. Overall, what would you recommend for a cheap deer gun? That all depends on your state laws. Some state laws, they only allow you to deer hunt with straight-walled cartridges. Some laws you have to have over a certain size caliber. My favorite to hunt with is, without a doubt, my Scar. I'm not opposed to hunting with 223. I know they're more than capable of taking down deer. The ammunition is cheap. You'll practice with them more. The firearms are lighter. The Scar, for me, though, it just feels cooler. I don't know if that means anything. Like, I feel more badass carrying the Scar over an AR-15. That's the primary reason why I hunt with my Scar. I'm going to try to get a deer with the trench shotgun pretty quick here, though. We'll see what happens. 30-30, bring the phone closer. I can't bring the phone closer. Oh, I wish I had a mirror or something. Because it's on a tripod right now, and my tripod's basically as tall as me. Even with it lowered all the way down, it's only this small. And I need a counter space for the laptop. I'm going to try to get a microphone because I'd like to do more live streams. I also want to get a camera for the laptop so I can live stream off the laptop, so then I can just like put it in the corner and run a cam and stuff, and then I can invite other people into my live streams. But right now my laptop is so crappy, I can't have anyone come onto my channel and live stream. I can only go onto their channel and live stream. My understanding is 62 grain has slightly better penetration at the cost of bullets. Well, your 62 grain, they do offer a penetrator bullet. It's not armor piercing, and it doesn't have a steel core, but like this little piece of lead would be covered by copper, and then this little piece of lead would be steel instead of lead to help you punch through a little bit better. Does it really help that much? I don't know. It does seem to damage steel targets more, and if you get caught shooting at, like, say a 3-gun match and you have 62 grain penetrators, you'll probably get disqualified. 62 grain gold dot is better than 55 grain green. What's up? What's going on? Budget Gun Cinema. Cheap Savage Arm Access. ABQ. Oh yeah, because you asked about cheap firearms. But yeah, if you can hunt with a 223 in your state and you're comfortable with hunting with a 223, the quality of firearm you can get in a cheap AR-15. This is a cheap AR-15. The quality this has here blows away any of the quality you're ever going to find in like a bolt gun or anything like that. You could get like a single shot break action shotgun, but even newer ones, unless you can find old used ones, they're not put together very well. Without a doubt, if you're looking for cheap and you can fit it into your repertoire, an AR-15 is the way to go. There's just so many sold, and they're mass produced on such a large scale, and they're so standardized, to find a crappy AR-15 is pretty tough. How can I help with your mic and computer problems? You really can't. The thing is with my mic and computer problems is just finances. I know what I need to get, I just can't afford it. I spent nearly $700 on a 308-700 access. They do have cheaper accesses, but they're cheaper. They're garbage. Savage Model 11, Peter. Speaking of Savages, I still need to get my hands on a Savage. It's the long action, not... Is it the 11? Or is it the 111? Because I have a chassis for a Savage, because... I was explaining to my dad about parallax and that, and the rifle he was trying to shoot had too tall of a scope on it, and he could never keep a consistent grouping. I'm like, well, the problem is you're running into parallax, because your scope is so high, and you have to raise the stock up, so instead of, being tucked into your stock, it was like this. And there's too much movement of your head and everything. So I bought a chassis to put on his gun, but that chassis weighed a lot, and it was completely ridiculous because it's for a competition gun. But I want to make a sniper rifle out of that chassis gun, so I want to get an action. Because it's a long action, I might as well go with 300 Win Mag. So I want to get a Savage action that I can put on a 300 Win Mag barrel and build a sniper rifle out of that. We had a couple of used ones come through the store, but they were always just slightly wrong. Because I can't have the one with the detachable magazine. I need the one with the 4-plate in it. But I'll eventually get one, and then I'm going to put that beast together, and that's going to be awesome. Thanks, I've been looking for a good gun for deer, and needed suggestions, same ballistics, 111. I have a Savage 7mm mag, it's a shooter. I own iron sights on 22, gunner I bet, never shot one. Me 2 run, plus P is for short barrels. I was actually told, because Charter Arms, I'd called them, I'm like, hey, why do none of your handguns have a plus P rating on it? And they're like, well, if you would have just looked in the owner's manual, we explain it. But apparently, the Charter Arms revolvers can shoot plus P ammunition, but they said unless you at least have a 4-inch barrel, all you're doing is making a bigger flash and a louder noise. You're not picking up... They said there might be a small, slight feet per second increase, but it's not worth running plus P ammunition. You're just spending a bunch of money on ammo that you're not getting benefit out of. So I don't know. I'd have to put it on a chrono and do testing myself. Okay, how much can we raise? How much can we raise the money? We are here for you. I don't really want to ask you guys for money. I mean, I do have a Patreon you can always go on, but I try to plumb it full enough giveaways to where... How do you explain it? It's basically profit sharing. I don't want to agree to profit sharing because that's not the end goal. That will eventually buy my laptop. But basically, I'm just giving away a bunch of stuff on there. So like, let's say I bring in $100, I try to give $100 in stuff away. Whether that's free stuff companies have sent me, stuff I have lying around, something like that. This way I'm giving something back. If that makes any sense. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat, man. Definitely going to my girl's Power Wheels. I really appreciate it. I definitely want to get her Power Wheels. She really wants one. She even pointed out in the catalog. She's like, Dad, this one. Because the one she's got right now, I bought, and it was super cheap. And it's got a maximum speed of like 1 mile per hour. It can't handle gravel or anything like that. And she's like, I need a new one, Dad. What about a glory hole? Damn it, I missed that comment. Are Charter Arms any good? They're decent. I would go into the gun shop though and hand select out the one you want, because I've seen a lot of manufacturing errors in Charter Arms. Like for example, the Mag Pug, they have porting on the barrel. Sometimes you'll see the porting coming at goofy angles and stuff. Casting marks on some of the firearms. So if you're going to buy a Charter Arms, go in and manually inspect it. I do think the Taurus snub nose is of a higher quality, except for the poly protector. I think that thing's kind of a pile of crap. I've seen them get wore out. Now you could go, because Smith & Wesson offers a budget model of the featherweight. It'll come with 2 different grips, a pink grip and a black grip. I believe that blows it away. But again, you're getting into higher and higher and higher costs. What you want to figure out is, where do I want my quality and how much do I want to spend? And what compromise am I going to come in the middle? Is very slow. How much for a TV behind you? $17. Have you ever... Self-defense. Have you ever had to bang flesh or gun? Self-defense story. The only self-defense story I actually have 2 of them. One of them, I was running a lube center in Baraboo, and I think these people had cased me out, and I realized I was walking to the bank to make the deposit. I might be wrong, but this is basically how it happened. So I was walking down the street, and this car pulls up. There was a guy and the girl in the front seat, and they're like, hey, do you need a ride? And the bank was about 2 miles from my job, because I'd wake up in the morning, I'd walk about 1.5 miles to work, and then I'd walk about 2 miles or so to the bank, then about 2 miles back, and then another 1.5 miles back to my house. Well, they'd pick me up. I'm like, sure, I would love a ride, and I would always tuck the bank bag in my waistband, and then put my shirt over it so no one would see it when I was walking. Well, I'm in the car, and they start asking these very unusual questions. They either were like some sort of swinger couple or something like that, and they wanted to have a good time with me, or they were going to rob me. Anyways, eventually it got to the question, I think the chick had asked it. She's like, don't you feel weird or something getting in a car with other people? I mean, like, what if they wanted to keep you prisoner or take you hostage or cause you harm? Luckily, I had said this response. I was like, oh, I'm a badass. I would literally choke you out with your seatbelt while I stab your boyfriend to death with the knife in my pocket and bring the car to the side of the road. I'd basically kill both of you before anything would happen. And then they pulled over right away and they're like, get the hell out of our car. That was one, but I don't really know if that was a self-defense story or not. The next one, at our apartment, so my girl was sitting on the couch. I was laying in bed because I get up at a crazy hour in the morning. And the cats started going crazy. And we had this, because the apartment, like, here's ground level, and then our apartment's right there, and then there was a set of stairs that would walk down to your sliding doors. And she had looked over, and she had seen a cigarette cherry. And she's like, babe, come here. And she's like, don't make it obvious, but I'm pretty sure somebody's spying on me through the window. I kind of glance over and I'm like, oh my god, that is a cigarette cherry. So I went back in the room and I had flashed him with my weapon light and he took off. And then there was a whole side story how the cops were trying to claim that I'm some sort of vigilante and they got all pissed off that I handled it myself. But that's about the only 2 stories I can think of off the top of my head for like self-defense. Aside from that time I was in Milwaukee, and I made a whole video on that, but yeah, I thought I was going to have to throw some people into traffic. Not all guns on here. Do you sell guns? You can't sell guns on YouTube, but yes, this is a firearm shop. Great value. Rabbi Jews 30% off of the Savage Arm, blah, blah, blah. He's not on here to sell guns. Knight Tombstone, I know. That's what I'm trying to help. Fix the lock open problem. Lock open problem. Peter, can you get Great Savages for less than... You guys are still on the cheap firearm thing. What do you guys think about AR Brady triggers? I don't know. I used to swap out parts and totally customize firearms. I eventually just hit a point in my life where if I want a firearm, I'm not going to buy something off the shelf. Say, for example, if I wanted a nice AR-15, I would start with a nice AR-15. If I were to buy this off the shelf, which is a budget AR-15, there's already things on here I would want to change. The idea of buying a budget AR-15 is to leave it exactly the way it is. This way you're shooting it for the cheapest amount of money. So I don't swap out triggers and everything anymore. I'll just buy something that's already set up the way I want it. And that's especially important if you're going to buy an expensive gun. You don't buy an expensive gun to customize. Otherwise, why would you buy it? You would just start with a stripped lower and build it up from that point if you can't find one that you like. So I either recommend buying something right out of the box, 100% the way you like it, or just start with a stripped lower and build it your way. So yeah, I really don't customize my firearms anymore. I just buy what I want out of the box. For good ideas, here's types of scopes. Watch Coda Boy. I'll win scopes if you're looking for something budget. You gotta get a fixed power. Don't get something with variable zoom until you get to a certain point. Because otherwise there's different types of glass. What are the three Asians? I can't remember what the third Asian glass is, but there's LOD and HD, or LD and HD, which that's okay glass. That'll work just fine in like a fixed power or something. But if you want something quality, something where you can zoom in and not lose your picture, especially at long range or with a high zoom, first off, you're going to want a first focal plane. Otherwise, if you have a ranging reticle, it's not going to work because it's not adjusting to the size of your target. Then you don't want that cheap Asian glass. Even HD, that's not very good for a zooming optic. You want to go to like a BK7, some German cut glass. That's what you'll find like Night Forces, Simmons. That's why ACOGs are so expensive. An ACOG is actually the cheapest optic you can buy that has that German glass in it. Everything else is ridiculously more expensive. But the glasses act on light differently. Like LD glass, there's very little light that passes through it. HD glass, you'll get some of the spectrum. Like your German cut glass, you get a full spectrum that comes through it. So when you start zooming in on a target, it's not going to fuzz out. It's not going to have issues with it. So for something cheaper, I go with like a Bushnell Tactical, like a fixed 10 or something like that until I have the money to buy like a Steiner. That's not what when I was talking about Night Force and stuff, I meant to say Steiner, not Simmons. But like a super high-end, like $2,500 Steiner, a super high-end Night Force, something to that effect. Something with the glass to be able to carry the job I wanted to do. Oh, thank you for the super chat. What did you say? I gotta back up on the comments real quick here. $5 super chats. Thank you for the videos. Man, I appreciate the super chat. Again, if you weren't here earlier, all my super chats are going to my daughter's birthday party because she wants the Power Wheels and I can't afford it. Palmetto State Armory, right down the road. Great entry-level AR-15 AK. What do people think of the Palmetto AKs? I know I'm not really a fan of their AR-10s. They had a bunch of feeding issues earlier. And I seen another video where they were shooting like 4 MOA. Then that one guy, Firearm Freedom, he got a Palmetto State Armory firearm on loan. and the bolt was literally eating itself. Somehow they had screwed up the timing on the key, so the bolt was trying to release too early, or not early enough, and it was chewing away the edges on here and totally mushrooming them out. So I don't really know how I feel about Palmetto AR-10s. But now we've had some of their AR-15s come through, and they seem to be pretty good. So what do you guys think of the Palmetto AKs? I like Leopold scopes. I bought my 2.0 not that long ago. Blah. Scopes seem to be my biggest conservation. I mean, I want a high power scope. I can get enough through. I need less, but I have no clue what the right power is. When it comes to the power of a scope, Carlos Halfcock, he had a 3x9 or something like that. Dude, and that guy was making over 1,000 yard shots. Unless you're trying to shoot at something small like a golf ball or something like that, if you want to stay cheap, a fixed 10 with like HD glass on it and a mil-dot reticle. That's more than enough to do whatever you want to do. Unless, of course, like I said, you want to shoot like a rabbit at 1,000 yards. Then you're not going to be able to see the rabbit. If you want to go with something super high powerful, I strongly recommend ponying out the cash and dumping like $2,500, $3,000 into your scope. Always just stick with like a fixed power like a 10 with your mil-dot reticle. Man, my spring ain't super tight. I'm running into feeding issues. Budget Gun Cinema, what firearm are you talking about? My spring isn't super tight and I'm running into feeding issues. I have some magazine backwards springs pushing need ones. Google 60 on 11. Here I am thinking about, I'm reading a lot about M&P Sports. Yeah, M&P Sports decent, but not for the price it comes in at. That firearm is truly overpriced. Your biggest cost difference on your AR-15s are the barrel. And the M&P Sport just has a 4140 steel barrel. It should be roughly about $100 cheaper than they're selling that rifle for. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad rifle. It's put together really good. We had a lot of them come through the store, and there doesn't seem to be any blems on it. They seem to do a consistent job assembling it. But you're getting a cheaper barrel, and if I remember, there's not even metal heat shields under the handguards. You're getting an AR-15 carrier instead of an M16 carrier. You're getting a high shelf, lower receiver. All very undesirable parts. What stuff do you do on your Patreon? I just give away crap on my Patreon. When companies send me free stuff, I will do a video on it, and then I give it away to my patrons. Or if I haven't given anything in a while, like if I don't get something soon from a company, gonna give that sword away. I just try to make it so I'm giving out as much as I'm getting in. I'm familiar with the M&P Sport 2, but I have a Delton, it's a mid-length. Deltons seem to be good for the price. They seem to be right at... Here's a Delton right here. When these are on sale, I believe that's exactly what they're worth. Not $1 more, not $1 less. So I believe you're getting what you pay for in a Delton. If they were any more expensive, I wouldn't recommend them. MP Shield 40, Wyndham Weaponry makes great ARs. Wyndham Weaponry does make great ARs. Their barrels are quality. You're looking at 4150 steel, CMV, chrome lined. They're put together nicely. They're the same rifle as a Bushmaster, but you're paying about 10% more for a Wyndham Weaponry over a Bushmaster. But Wyndham Weaponry has more of a solid political standing, if that makes any sense. Like, they've given back to their employees and stuff, where Bushmaster is just owned by Remington, and so it's some unnamed company. So when you give your money up to Bushmaster, it's just going to a corporation. Where Wyndham Weaponry, it's more, I want to say family oriented, but that's not quite the right word. I got a LWRC M6. What do you think of that LWRC M6 rifle? Colt 69, 30 for me and done. Yes. There's two disadvantages to Colt. They're a bit overpriced. And you're giving money to a company that does not support the Second Amendment. They never have. They've never shown it. So that's the only downside to Colt. But you're picking up the stamp on it, which has been around for a long time, and it's got deep roots in history. And you're getting a quality rifle. Now, I'm told Colt doesn't use, they use 4150, but they don't use 4150 CMV, which means there's vanadium in the barrel, so those barrels cook off 400, it's either 400 to 600 degrees less, like if you go with a Bushmaster that uses 4150 CMV. Because the mil spec doesn't call for CMV, and I'm pretty sure they build Colt rifles exactly to mil spec. Thank you. How much for the Delton again? When the Delton rifles are on sale, depending on your dealer, on what kind of markup they put on them, you should be able to score them for under 500 bucks. Because the sales are weird with Delton. They'll run them up. They'll be about $200 more than they are on sale. Then, because I can see how many units the distributor has in for inventory, and they'll just freeze. None of the Delton rifles will sell. And then, like every 3 to 6 months or so, it seems like they drop the price of the rifle by about $200. When they're not on sale, they're not worth it. But if you can get your Delton, like your 316M, for around $500, which comes with a Troy battle sight, I definitely recommend it. My Colt A3 barrels, 94. It has police only on it. Better or worse? I think it's cool that it's got police and military only on it, and you own it. Because it's like slapping that political correctness in the face. Again, you check with the barrel, because I'm almost positive they don't use CMV. I think it's just 4150 steel. That doesn't really mean anything unless you're going to shoot on full auto or do Magnums. If you do that, then it's going to cook off at a much lower temp than you will see on most modern AR-15s. Like, for example, your Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2. That's 4140 CMV. That vanadium allows the steel to handle a much higher temperature than just normal 4150 or 4140. I have a SIG 556, over 2,000 rounds with no malfunctions. Damn, it's pretty nice. 516. What was that SIG I shot? It was chambered in 7.62 by 39. I think it was, because they got that SIG. It's piston operated. It's got a collapsible stock. Looks really awesome. Well, this particular one was chambered in 7.62 by 39. That gun was sexy. I mean, I really like that firearm. Yeah, a little bit heavy. Yeah, I don't like 7.62 by 39, especially because if you buy that SIG chambered in 7.62 by 39, it does not come with open sights. It comes with a red dot though, and it doesn't come with the last round hole open. So if I could have got that in 5.56, yeah, I would have been in love. Just because it's beautiful and it looks awesome. So that's why I like it. I got the M&P Sport 2 for 530 with a case 30 round. That's a good deal. Nice. See you later, dude. Now, what? Matt, the question is average? I'm not understanding that. Pete, new or used? New. 556R is the 7.62 by 39 SIG. I lost the conversation. What else do we got here? Maybe I can back up a little bit and pick it up. So did you sell the vinyl cards? Vinyl cards? I don't know what that B word is, but I can't read it. I'm sorry, I panic when I try to read in front of people, so it's got to be real short words. Vinyl cutters. Vinyl cutters. He said the 556R is 762 by 39 SIG. Is that the SIG he's talking about? Is that the one with the collapsible stock I was just talking about? Or is... Because I thought it was SIG 556, but that particular one was chambered in 762 by 39. What about BCA M4s? I don't actually know about BCA M4s. I've never had an opportunity to hold one, and that's usually when I start looking up specs and kind of check it out and check out the quality. AR pistols. Sad to part my EOTech that comes and costs more than my... I actually ran an EOTech for a long time. I did run into one problem. There was a smear or something on the inner crystal. So my reticle had kind of had like fuzz around it. I didn't even know that was a thing. So I thought that's just how they all were. And then I had sold my EOTech, and the guy that bought it was like, dude, there's something wrong with this. So then he gave it back to me, and I had sent it in. Now I got a nice crisp reticle. And that EOTech's actually on my girl's gun right now. But they're pretty decent, because you get a 1 MOA dot and then a 65 MOA ring, which you can use the ring for ranging. And it's really nice because if something jumps up on you, you just put the ring on it and shoot. If you're trying to make a precision shot, then you have a 1 MOA dot where you can really dial in a shot. Either on BUC, I don't know. I'm glad you went ahead and done a live chat. Yeah, not a problem. I mean, I said I was going to do a live chat, so I definitely wanted to do one. If I'm going to deliver something, I always try to be a man of my word and deliver. And again, it totally wasn't the other guy's fault at all. I went back and read the messages, and no, I did not specify what I was planning. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you have a favorite Wildcat cartridge? It depends what you classify as a Wildcat cartridge. I mean, you could be looking at a 300 Win Mag and classify that as a Wildcat cartridge because it's a barrel burner, which I like. Or you can classify like 300 Blackout as a Wildcat cartridge because you're taking a 308 and a 223 and you're slamming them together, which that's my favorite Wildcat cartridge if I want to suppress something. So I mean, you really, it all depends on what you classify as a Wildcat cartridge. Oh, I do like to have an AA-12. I would love to have an AA-12 too, but only if I can get it in full auto. Otherwise, you know, with all proprietary parts and only at semi-auto, I might as well just buy like a Mossberg 930. You got a cool shirt. Where do you get that one? I think this one is Grunt style. Yeah, this one's Grunt style. They got a pretty awesome commercial too. I can't remember. I think Grunt style sends you an American flag every time you place an order as well. Primary arm scopes are pretty nice. Have you read the Magic? It's basically a gun guy's writing killer books. No, I haven't read that book. Send me a link on a comment, not on this video because I won't be able to retrieve it. Go to like my community tab or something when this is over and just post a link to that book you want me to check out under the post that's saying I'm doing a live stream. 25-06. That's my dad's favorite Wildcat cartridge. I've never really got into it, but I get the point. Worst state to visit for CCW? Probably California or New York. I guess a lot of people get arrested in New York. So I guess this is how the situation goes down. They're flying to a different state, and for whatever reason they have a connecting flight in New York. So they register their guns in at the airport terminal of their home state, having a lock case exactly how it should be. Then their plane touches down so they can connect to another flight, and then they get arrested in New York even though they did everything right, and they were just passing through it, because the gun in that case violated New York law. Shirt, super dope. Thanks. My girl had actually got me this shirt. No point in having an AA-12 if it's not full auto. I totally agree. I'm a big fan of 357 air gunner myself. Oh wow, I've already been on here for over an hour. Let's start wrapping up the live chat. If there's anything else you guys would like to ask or anything like that, roll it in now. I'll give it like another 5 minutes or so to answer any specific comments. Otherwise, I should probably check out. I get up at 3 a.m. anyway, and my time here is already 10:20. I like the shirt size too. I don't know. They made kids' shirts. I'm out night, folks. Thanks for sticking in and watching my live chat. Thoughts on 7.62x25 Tor? Never shot it myself. It's a cool, I believe that's a bottleneck cartridge too. So that's pretty awesome because typically if you go from a straight wall to a bottleneck, you can drastically increase pressure without having too much pressure in the case to where it would blow up the cartridge. Good night, everyone. Only one pistol. What would you want it to be? Man, that's a good question. I have no idea if I could only have one pistol. It'd probably be like a SIG 226, a Beretta 92. Now, are we talking about a pistol I know I'm going to go into combat with, or just something I want to show? If it's just something I want to show, it'd probably be like a World War II 1911, or something to that effect. Me, right now, only one pistol. Probably a SIG 226. An old one with an aluminum frame. Not the really old German ones where the slide was made in two pieces and welded together, but one when they started transitioning over. Good night. Good night, everyone. Yeah, it's late time for bread. Good night. Hey, y'all. Guns stream. Glad to join us. I don't let the bed bugs bite. One pistol to rule them all. Alright. I appreciate everyone for joining my live chat. Again, thank you for the super chats. That drastically helps on my girl's birthday. I'm checking out.